Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to day 3 of our coding project challenge. So far with this project, we've used grids to define a layout, and yesterday we used media queries to kind of make that layout responsive. So if we come back to our project, don't worry about the colors. It's just so I could see what each div was doing and how it was arranged, right? So yesterday we took this and we started to make it responsive. So if we go down to the right, we've got this thing, and as we can see, it's already changed based on the screen. So when we've gone to the mobile or smaller screen size, we're looking at columns stacked on top of each other. Let me find a bigger one, and then once we've got to a larger screen, we've come back to our original display. Okay, so that's where we are so far. Today we're going to look at kind of adding content, picking some colors. So obviously we've got it responsive, we know what each div's doing. Let's pick probably 2 colors. We're going to keep it nice and simple, nice and creative. We don't want it too boring. A lot of the future projects will be kind of around games, hopefully. Massive gamer. I absolutely love it. So that's what I'd like to start creating. So we're going to kind of make it quite fun. But today we're going to focus on populating it with some content, and obviously making sure the content looks quite good, okay, or it's quite readable. So we started. This is our HTML. We started with 7 divs in a container. The container was display grid and allowed us to move it around. So now we're going to start populating it. So we're going to start with H1, and we're just going to say Sean learns to code. Great. Okay. So we've got a H1, and then if we look, so let's come back to our view. Let's come out of that for a moment. We can see we've got our title, right? But it's at the left. We probably want it in the center. So let's come back. Let's go to our CSS, and what we're going to do, because we want it to be quite specific, we're going to say nav h1. So the h1 element that appears in the nav div, and very simply align items center. Okay. So now what we're saying is we want to center that text within our div. So if we come back, okay, let's see why that's happened. Is it because I didn't save it? It might be because I didn't save it. Let's try this again, and let's see how we do. So why is this not working? Let's just quickly have a look. So H1 Sean learns to code. Great, and that's in our nav. Okie dokie. And then here we've decided. Oh, hang on. Could be text align, which obviously made a mistake, rookie error. Let's see what happens. There we go, that's a bit better. So now, as you can see, we've got our title smack bang in the center of kind of our header, our navigation bar. Great. Okay. So we're going to kind of come back and do this with our projects as well. So as you can see, we've got our little titles here. We want them to be a bit bigger, and obviously in the center of each div. Okay, so the process is pretty much the same. So let's come back. So project 1, and we probably want to make this a H2, I would say. So H2, and we'll call it project. And we'll, rather than use a number, we'll use a word. Okay. Okay, right. Let's try this again. Rookie mistake. Okay, great. Project 1. And then obviously, of course, we're going to do the same for the other projects, right? So let's again, we'll add our H2. And this will be very simple. Project 2. I mean, are we going to use H2s anywhere else? I don't think we are. So I'm just thinking it's a CSS selector. We could probably just, rather than be specific, we could do it probably just one line of code. So project 3. And then, of course, exactly the same for project 4. Okay, so project 4. Okay, obviously when we've actually built these projects, they're not going to be called project 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll give them actual names, but as we haven't built the projects yet, we'll just stick with this for now. So let's just check and make sure that's kind of gone okay. Great, but obviously we want to center these. So there's kind of two ways we can do it. I think so. We could do what we did with the header, and we can specify the div and the h1. But as far as with my plans, like these are going to be the only h2s. So what I'm kind of thinking is just do this. Just call all h2s text align and then center. Okay. I mean, obviously we can change this, but all being well, that should be there. Great, it is beautiful. So now we've got our header, and now we've got our headers for our H2s for our projects. Great. So obviously we're going to probably want to add an image, a description to each project, right? Obviously they don't exist yet, but again, we're kind of just testing and seeing how it all works, right? So we've got our projects, we've got our header, and now we kind of want to add. We want to add not to the nav bar. We definitely don't want any. And then we're just going to say lorem. I think if we just do lorem 45, or does that have to be together? I'm sure I've seen this somewhere. Okay. So it has worked, but it's a bit out of the way. So what I'd probably do is we'll just break it. Whatever we do here, kind of in the HTML is not really going to make a difference. Unless you put breakpoints, it's not going to recognize the white space, as far as I'm aware. And then again, what we can do, we can just put this in for project 2, project 3, and project 4. Okay. So let's save that and let's see how we go. Okay. No thanks. Okay. So my kind of initial feeling is I'd probably let's text align it all first, and then my kind of initial feeling would be put the image between the header and the text, maybe. Yeah, and maybe reduce. No, I think we'll leave the text size for now. So let's text align all this so it's all centered and nice. And again, we can be super specific, or we can. I think these are kind of the only. Well, every paragraph I use, I'm going to want it to be centered. So again, what we can do, text align, center. Okay. So let's come back and let's see how that goes. Great. Boom. Okay, so it's all centered now. Beautiful. So now we've got Sean Learns to Code in our title. We've kind of got our project, let's say placeholders, because we haven't actually completed these projects yet. And we've got some centered text just to see what it looks like. Okay, obviously we want to put an image in there. We're going to work on images tomorrow, just because I need to sort of source them, put them in the project folder. I haven't done that yet. And obviously, I'm sure you guys don't need to see me kind of creating them in Canva and stuff. Maybe you want to see that, who knows? But for now, that's not looking too bad. Let's see how it looks in the mobile view. So shortness code centered, it's okay. Let's bring it down a bit smaller. I might change the media query as well. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, is it a bit close to the margin? I mean, we could put some padding in there. I think we should put some padding in there, personally. Yeah, we'll put some padding in there. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So let's come back. And what we're going to do, we're going to add padding. And we'll just not much, 5 pixels. And probably again, padding 5 pixels. Just to give it a bit of breathing room, a bit of space. So let's see how that's gone, and let's see how it's going. It's a bit better. So it looks a little better. Oh, I quite like that green, actually. That's quite nice. What do you think about the green and the purple, guys? Oh, I do. I think them two colours are quite nice together, actually. And then the green and the black as well. Okay. That's quite interesting. Maybe that's something we could try. Actually, we probably will try. Okay, so it looks a bit better. We can do a bit more styling, of course. We'll get the images in tomorrow, and we'll see. We'll see what's going on there. We'll see how it looks. For now, reasonably happy with that. That green, black, and purple. That looks quite cool. Let me try something. Just bear with me a minute. I think them colours together are quite nice. So let's go back to our nav. Oh, actually, yeah, no, what we're going to have to do, because you'd want, if we're going to do that, you'd want the headers to be different colours. Okay, so let's just say that's black, and then we'll make that white, just to see how it feels. Obviously, I'm using named colours here. You can use sort of hex, RGB, and RGBA and stuff. And I'm sure as we kind of progress, we'll start using those more. Gives us more variety. Okay, so this one has the code. Let's make that black as well. Let's just see how that kind of looks. Okay, let's have a look. So background color. For now, let's just see how it looks. So black. Let's save it. Okay, and then let's see how that looks now. Okay, and then what I'm thinking is make maybe black and green. Could be our two colours. Maybe a darker green, or maybe that light green's quite nice. So we could go green, black. So black, green, black. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna have to change the way we've done things a little bit. So here we just generally said H2s, for example, and P's just in general, right? We're gonna need to change that. So what we'll do, I think, we'll use project 1 H2, and then what we can do, we can be a bit more specific, because I think the headings are going to have to be different colors. So project 1 Okay, so project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4. Okay, and the reason, can you chain them? I'm sure you can chain them actually. Okay, anyway, so we've got black, and then what we want is to, let me just check. Green, black, green, no, black, green, black, green. So black, green. Okay. So the first one we want is black. Okay. So black. Obviously, again, we can use kind of hex to get a closer shade of green or black. Oh, that's lime green. Let's just try green. Let's see how that goes. Okay, let's save it. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so okay, so black, green. Okay, so let's make that fourth one green, and let's see how we do. And then obviously, of course, we're going to have to change the color of the text, etc. So let's see how that looks. Okay. Obviously, we want to take the yellow out. And we could use the hero image to add some color, which could be fun. And then we can make the footer black as well, I would guess. So let's come back, change the footer and the colors of the text. So let's come down, footer, we'll make that black as well. And then you've just got a bit of green just to give it a different. Okay. I'm not hating that, to be honest. I think that's all right. Obviously, we need to change the color of the text in project 1, which is now black, and 3. So let's do that. Okay, so now we need to. Okay, so now what we're going to have to do is what we'll do. We'll just be super specific. Project 1 P, and then we can have text align center, and then we'll say the color is white. Again, probably should use hex for more control. And as we get closer to the finished products. Okay, so we've got a text, so now we obviously need to do our header as well. That looks okay. Project 4. So what I probably would do, just for organisational purposes, should probably put some comments in as well. Okay, just so they're together. H2, and then we can Control V, and then again we'll put our padding in, but again we can change this if we need to. 5 pixels. Okay, so now they're kind of organised sort of together, right? So it's just a bit easier to sort of find. Let's see how that looks. Why is that not worked? Oh yeah, I haven't added a colour. Derp. Okay, so let's see. And okay, so again, you can do this. I'm not hating that, I must admit. It'd be cool. Obviously, we're gonna have a nice hero image to add a bit more colour. Yeah, okay, it's not too bad, not too bad. So let's come back, and we need to do exactly the same thing, kinda, for project 3 as well, because that's also in black. So let's come down, and we can just copy and paste, I think. So let's get rid of this for the moment, copy that in, and then just change these two. Okay, so project 3. 3. And let's see how this goes. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I think the white could be, I don't know, because we do want it to be quite fun. Okay, but now we're losing our text align, aren't we? Yes. Okay. So we need to align these align the text again here. So let's come back. So project 2H2. So we're quite specific. And then we need project 2P. And we're just going to text align again. Center. And then we'll come down to project 4. Project 4. And again, P. And again, text align center. Beautiful. So let's come back. Okay, that looks a bit better. Okay, so again, I'm not really hating it. Maybe reduce the grid gap a bit, so there's less kind of. We want separation, but maybe not. It's quite. Is that quite a lot? Let me have a look. So what I usually find, like sometimes it's good to kind of sleep on it. Let's just put it 0.1. Let's see how that goes, and then sort of come back again. But for now, oh, that's a bit better actually. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. They've reduced the grid gap. Okay, not bad. And then kind of at the bottom, like we want to work on. There's not going to be much in the footer. Maybe a contact email, links to kind of socials. That'll probably be one of the last things we do. So what we've done, again, let's just see how it looks in kind of a mobile view. Okay, I quite like that. And then obviously we're gonna populate the footer towards the end of the week. Okay, great. And then let's just try it on a different screen. And again, I don't hate those colors, you know. Obviously, in the hero, we're gonna have an image, which is our work for tomorrow. Yeah, so not too bad actually. So what we've done, we've taken our website. Oh, hang on, they're still not aligned. Why are they not aligned? Okay, let's come back and let's see what we've done here. I need to add comments as well, really. Oh, right, of course. I forgot to. And again there. Let's have a look now. Okay, so let's see how we do. That's better. That's a bit better, isn't it? Still not overly happy with how close it is to the margin. But it's not too bad. So what we've done, we've kind of changed the color for our site. We've reduced the grid gap so the lines are less, and we've started to populate it with some content and just applied some basic styling to the content. Tomorrow we're gonna be, well, I'll source the images before the episode, just so you guys don't have to see me do that, and then we'll start populating the website with images, apply some more basic styling, and then kind of around Friday we'll start looking at the footer, social links, and then we'll apply some finishing touches over the weekends, I think. But I'm quite happy with that. Let me know what you think of the colours. I quite like them. I don't know why, but I do actually think they're quite cool. But thank you very much for watching, guys. And like, subscribe, and all that. And I will see you tomorrow for episode 4 of our project vlog. Take care.